Hello, my dears. My name is Barbara. You probably know me from the previous episodes, and you are listening to the EBstars Podcast. Today, we're going to have a great guest, Elena. She's going to introduce herself in a minute. And the topic for today is very exciting. I think it's one of the most important part of employer branding, is like heart of employer branding. I don't know how to explain that, but we're going to talk about career websites. And it's not only important for the candidates to have place to see your culture EVP and apply, but also for us employer branding specialists. I believe this is the central point of selling your EVP further. So, and measuring obviously the effects. So I'm really excited. There's not a lot of great podcasts or episodes on career websites, so I really can't wait. Welcome, Elena. Nice to have you. Thank you very much for being with us today. And please, if you can introduce yourself and tell us what you're bringing today and why it's important for you, why you chose the topic, because you obviously chosen that. So hello, and yeah, we're listening.
Thank you, Barbara, and hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here today, and this topic is a big passion of mine. So I've been in the tech industry for 25 years, and I worked for corporates. I worked for Microsoft for 9 years, and for the last 10 years, I run a company called 365 Talent Portal, and we're not employee branding specialists like most of you probably on the call. We are in talent management. So we help companies attract and retain talent. We help companies upskill their talent. And clearly having a great career page helps in our journey. So I can talk to you about a lot of examples I've seen, so a lot of best practices. I've seen so many mistakes, and people don't realize often how important the websites are in their journey when they want to attract candidates. They might have done a great job with the employee value proposition, but if it's not showing on the website, they're not attracting the right candidates, and they wonder why it's happening. So today, I really would like to give you some practical examples and tips that would help you, and hopefully at the end of it, you will walk away. If you're an employee branding specialist, you will walk away with like better guidance for your customers. If you're corporate, hopefully you can review your website and walk away and say, well, that's a great tip. Maybe I can easily make this change, and that would help me attract better talent. And if you're a candidate looking for a job, maybe it will help you find a better employer for you.
Great, perfect. So you are the perfect girl on for our topic, and so yeah, thank you very much. We're about to start. Just to remind you, our format, we're testing a little bit, is 5 stars employer branding, which means our guests are bringing the best 5 examples they want to share and talk about. So, Elena, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you.
If you can start, I can't wait for the first things.
So I'll tell you first what the 5 are, and then we will delve into each of them. So the best 5 tips I can give you is the first one: the career page should be your value proposition to the employees. So your EVP to the employees. It shouldn't be a list of your jobs. That's actually not what it's for. It is your employee value proposition. So second one is you need to have some evidence from your employees why they love working for you. So your case studies. Third one, show diversity and inclusion. In times of war for talent, this is very important. So you need to tap into all of these potential groups of candidates that you might have not considered so far, and you can do it through your website. And I'll show you really good tips how you can make it more attractive. The fourth one is you need to, instead of listing jobs, you need to have different journeys for the different types of roles you have. And it's not difficult to do, but it's very important to make a user-friendly experience for your candidates. And the fifth one, very important, is to have job specs that are very candidate-friendly. So these are my 5 tips, and then we'll walk through each of them now.
Great. Let's do it then.
Good. So let's start with the first one. And I know I'm preaching to people who understand how important the employee value proposition is, but there's so many websites of companies who are brilliant, and they're designed. A lot of companies think that the website is there to attract customers, and that's true, but also the websites are there to help you attract employees. And you might have had great value propositions for your products and services, but don't forget the value propositions for your employees. And so many career pages are there with a long, boring list of jobs, and that's not what it's for. So if you do that, please stop doing that. So maybe you can have a list somewhere else further down the line, but the career page should be about why should you consider us as your employee? And it's all about you as a person, as a candidate. And it's about how we can add value to you. What is our value proposition to you as a candidate? So it's all about our culture, the benefits, the flexible working hours. So it's not a list of jobs. It's all about you are marketing to these people. So this is your opportunity to entice them. So don't do a list of jobs is not attractive. So a list of jobs is destructive. So you're going to lose them if you do that. So you need to have messages, images, everything that is enticing and attractive and things that differentiate you from other companies. I want to show you some really good examples. So we'll use Microsoft because I used to work for them and I know them. And they actually have a great example for that. So I'll share my screen. Okay. And I'll show you their website. I hope you can see it now. Yeah. So you can see there's no long list of jobs. And yes, they'll be corporate. They'll probably have lots of jobs, but they have a button to make it easy. You need to make sure, if someone is ready to apply, to make it easy for them straight at the top. But you say the keywords and the region, location, so that helps. But very importantly, the career page, the front career page should be about the benefits, the culture, diversity and inclusion, and flexible work. So to be honest, most organizations need to have this in mind. For employee value proposition, you need to think about what are the benefits for the candidate, what are you offering as a culture, how diverse and inclusive you are, and what are the flexible terms of like flexible environment, because this is on top of mind for employees right now. And I'll give you examples. So what do Microsoft have under their benefits? So as you can see, very simple page. The images are very inclusive. So you have an elderly employee from a different cultural background, and it gives a lot of great examples. But when you look about the language, and talks about you. It's not about we. It talks about you. At Microsoft, you'll take the risk, push boundaries, and grow more than you thought possible. Yeah. And you won't be alone on that journey. So it talks about you. They want to address you as a candidate and entice you. And they talk about you and your family. So they talk about families. They care about you, but your extended family as well. We offer competitive pay, etc. So that's very important. So equal pay, that's extremely important. They talk about life in the company. So you build community with Microsoft, talking about employee resourcing groups, so you will feel like you belong there. They talk about flexibility to care for you and your family, maybe your pets as well. Not everyone has family. People live with pets, and there's a lot about that. About career progression, how you grow professionally, very important. We invest in you physically, emotionally, in your financial well-being. You see, so there's much more than the job. So they talk about jobs later, but you need to make it interesting for someone to consider applying for you way before that. And flexible working is very important right now. So you need to talk about it. And again, here in Microsoft side, they talk about flexible working. Some people like to work from home, others don't. So some jobs show this and others don't. So you make it easy for them to understand. Work location, you can work in different geographies, remote work, on-site work, and working hours. Yeah, you decide how you work, but for Microsoft, they're saying, your work schedule depends on your individual needs. And again, that's very attractive for employees. So I strongly suggest you lead with this. And the third element, the culture, okay, you're not just joining a role, you're part of the team, and you need to understand the values of that organization. As part of the employee value proposition, you know how important the values are for attracting the right people. If you're a candidate, you want to know what drives the organizations, what are the important things for your colleagues, not just for your managers. So for Microsoft, they talk about growth mindset. They actually heavily invest in growth mindset training and mind shift of all the employees to think from that perspective. Customer obsession, extremely important as well in all the, not just in the customer facing roles, but in everything you do. You might be a developer that is creating a product, not talking to the customers, but having this understanding you're obsessed with the customer needs is very important. Diverse and inclusive, we'll come back to the importance of that, but every page every career page should have an element of that, especially if you want to tap into the diverse talent out there. So these are just great examples of how you can demonstrate this. And again, they've done it over a few pages. You don't have to do it. You can do it in one page. But I just wanted to show you that, again, it's not about the jobs. You're not there yet. It's like you're building a funnel, the same as like in marketing with the prospects. You are in the early stage where you're building an interest and you're showing great examples of what you do for them as benefits, flexible working hours, and what a great culture you have as an organization where you can actually you can thrive and be one of us. So I'll stop sharing now. So this was the first tip I wanted to give you.
Thank you. It was great and great example. Actually, I like Microsoft and what they're doing with employer branding. One question is because it's a huge company, a lot of candidates probably applying. So the role of well-built career page is also to auto-select, but in a negative way, the candidates that we don't want to apply, right? It's not only about attracting people, attracting the right talent, but also telling and showing like you're not, if we're not for everybody. You know what I mean? It's like,
Absolutely, and that's very important because you don't want to waste your time
yeah,
as a hiring manager, but also you don't want to waste the candidate's time. So not everyone, and that's why it doesn't matter the size of the organization. So even if you're a small organization,
even
you as
more.
a manager would be so busy,
Yeah,
you probably don't have a hiring manager. You might be the MD of the company and that
yeah,
might be involved in everything. And even more so, you need to make sure you've got the right people applying. And if you have a list of jobs, I can promise you, if you actually, I'd be surprised first if you get anyone applying for the jobs, and second, this will be the wrong people.
yeah,
You will be wasting your time because these people know nothing about your organization and they're probably the wrong profile to start with. So
yeah, yeah.
so it's even more important. And again, you don't have to spend a lot of time, too much time on having lots of different pages, even one page, but
Mm-hmm.
having, instead of the jobs, listing it, the benefits of working with you, the culture of the organization. And
What's the
yeah,
most important? Yeah.
and yeah,
Perfect. So we've got the stage one.
yeah. Yeah, stage
Yeah.
one. So the
What's next?
second one, and also a big part of the employee value proposition is getting the employer's voice. So not just what you as a hiring manager think, like what your culture is and everything, but hearing it from your employees. And you can have different people from different parts of the organization giving their view of what their working day is like or what they love about the organization. And it doesn't have to be done professionally. People can film it on their phones and share it. That makes it even more real. Or giving a quote or something. But have your employees, don't worry. about putting your employees' names there, because some companies think, oh, if I put my employee name, they'll get poached. But it's like, they'll get poached anyway. If they're on LinkedIn, don't worry about it. They've been poached already a zillion times. But actually, they would love it even more if their name is on their on your website. So get their voice, because that's much more convincing than you telling our company is great. So have your people tell what their life is like. And again, I'll give you some examples. So I'll give you one more Microsoft example, and actually I'll finish it off with them. And I'll give you an example from a small organization as well, because not everyone has the big budgets of Microsoft and can afford this. But I really wanted to give you the Microsoft example because I think it's very strong, and it's something everyone can do. So let me share my screen again. Okay. So I'll play a video that they have on their culture website. So as part of the what I showed you earlier, the culture, where they talked about careers, culture, and if you scroll down, they have the evidence from the employees. So this is a video that they had the employees around the world putting together about what their typical day is like. As you can see, people in bed and alarms and pets.
Hey, good morning.
These are the ones that motivate me to get up every day. Sleep snatchers.
Bonjour à tous. Welcome. Welcome to my playground.
You ready, Shy?
Hi, good morning.
Say good morning, muchacho.
When we're kids, we have all these super wild dreams. I used to want to be a vet. I used to want to be an animal breeder.
I will take you outside now.
I grew up in a family of engineers in a small town in India.
I live in the south of Germany, where I grew up as half Bavarian and half Portuguese.
I grew up the daughter of a blue-collar family. I was the first person in either side of my family to go to college.
I didn't have a degree. I still don't. And I just didn't think that it would be possible to work for a tech company being like me.
We are all different. We are all unique.
And I think we're all just trying to make a difference in this world while we're in it.
That's a happy dog.
Really cute. From doctor.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Coffee's a must. Gotta make sure I have it.
When you look at people that are extremely talented or that are really successful, you don't always see the effort that they had to put in behind the scenes.
Just the sound of the birds in the morning trees. Spectacular.
Normally I just sit down for 10 to 15 minutes every day and try to not think about anything.
Getting ready every day for work. It's clearly a 3-person job.
This is how I start my day.
Who are the people that make up this company and what is their personal story?
I'm lucky. I get to start my day with my teammates in Europe and end every day with my teammates in Asia. We are all part of one larger global community.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, Brian. Good morning.
Every initiative or any work that you do is just another learning opportunity.
Here we are, in the office.
There's just so much to learn about yourself, about the people around you, about the world, and it's limitless.
When I get to throw ideas out and other people throw ideas back at me, it just adds energy and inspiration to what I'm doing.
While we are moving ahead and inventing new technology, at the same time we are affecting nature.
I want my kids to be able to enjoy the same kind of environment that I grew up with. I just don't know how long it's going to last.
Okay, so that was just there. It carries on. I don't expect you to listen to 8 minutes, but you can see what a great example it is. It doesn't talk about products and solutions and busy people in busy offices. It talks about people, real people, working at home, having families, having pets, and working around the world in a very diverse environment. So it's very inviting. I don't know about you, but I just kind of, it gives me goosebumps to see companies present this. It's fabulous. And you see people have done it themselves. So they've just had clearly professional company merging it together. But I'll show you a very small organization in the UK, one of the companies that we work with, very small. This is their career page. Again, we're driven, innovative, collaborative. They talk about their life of pragmatic. That's the name of the company. They show their offices, what it looks like, but their values. Here's their values. And what our employees think about. So then they have another videos, and they've got, and I'll only play you a little bit about this. But again, they've videoed this on their phones.
I think 3 words to describe pragmatic for me are collaborative, supportive, and fun.
The 3 words that I would use to describe pragmatic are ambitious, inclusive, and progressive.
3 words I'd use to describe pragmatic are supportive, quality, experts.
So, 3 words I would use to describe pragmatic are innovative, reliable, and committed.
The 3 words I would use to describe pragmatic are customer-centric, people-oriented, and collaborative.
And you see, again, they're much smaller organization. Clearly, don't have the budgets of Microsoft, but they talk about Employee of the Year, joining, the perks, and the well-being again. So you see, so they talk about what we said, the flexible working, the benefits, and the culture on one page. You don't have to have different things, but. What I really like, and again, lots of evidence from the employees, lots of photos, and then they have the jobs. But what they've done even, which I absolutely love, they've even created a brochure, pragmatic brochures, like Life at Pragmatic. And here, I've downloaded it, what it talks about, who are we, and then the culture and careers. So they've put it all together in a very nice way. So the different people from the team, a little bit about the office. And again, they talk about mission and values. And it's great because you see the people throughout this. Again, quotes from the people. It's not just the corporate team putting something together. They use quotes from doesn't have to be the directors. It could be real people, the type of people you'd want to hire. So if you're a candidate, you can relate to that and you can see, okay, Jessica, maybe, okay, I aspire to be like Jessica. I want to apply for a marketing role. That's great. Yeah, she looks like a real person that works there and is happy. Not difficult to do. And it's something that, again, differentiates you from other employees. So if you're someone looking for a job, would you apply for a company that has a list of jobs and nothing else? Or would you rather apply for a company that tells you so much about them and you can see their employees sharing their experience? So that was the second tip. Use the employee's voice, give real examples of your team members, whether it's in video or quotes. It's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost much to do.
and it's about emotions, right? So it's
yes.
Much, faster.
So exactly. Absolutely. Emotions are so important, Barbara. You're absolutely right, because ultimately you're joining a company where you want to spend a long time. Yeah. You want to connect emotionally with the company, not just, with the role. And it's so important.
Yeah. What I really like you've done is showing us big corporation and, smaller team. And I really would like to underline this. You don't have to have a huge budget for, to do all this. Obviously you can, but you can start, or this is because we tend to think, especially before the pandemic times, it was like you had to have a great scenario, budget, post-production, etc. So barely ever you produce anything. So, but this sometimes I meet companies still thinking, oh, it should be nice, it should be polished, it should be like post-product well, but it shouldn't. It really doesn't have to be, because we want to sell people. People want to see real people. So there's no better way to just show. I'm not saying low quality video, but this is really good, even for huge companies with corporate identity being said, to produce something like that, like Microsoft did. So thank you very much for showing us
No,
both
absolutely.
sizes.
And you're right, because again, recording it on your phone, yes, it's not, you can have really good quality video. And actually, if it shakes, if it's moving, that's fine. It's more genuine. It actually probably sounds more genuine as well, because if it was in a studio production, it sounds like you might have told the employee what to say. Well, if they recorded it themselves, they're more likely to be honest with the way they describe their day at work or how they feel about the company.
Love it. Great.
Yeah, good. So that was the second tip.
Yep.
The third one is about diversity and inclusion. So we all know about the war for talent and the lack of candidates in the market, and we often forget about variety of other groups of unexplored talent that we haven't considered. And I'm not just talking about women, but we're talking about neurodiverse talent, age, young or mature talent, people with different sexual orientation, different background, cultural, ethnicity, religious background, etc. So there's so many groups that a lot of companies think, well, we are open, and they are genuinely open, but their websites are uninviting for this talent. And that's the key. So you as a culture might have a very open culture, but the images, the text is prohibiting a lot of people from applying, even considering to apply to the website. So it's very important, if you're open, to actually start thinking about it. So are the images of just one group of the people that look like you and sound like you, or do you want to invite everyone to the jobs? And if so, you need to change the images on the website. And the same, the language is very important. We all have biases, and when we write text on the website, it often, without realizing, you're already excluding some people. So I want to give you some examples of what to do and how to do it. And I'll use a couple of corporates, but ignore that, because actually I'm just showing you images, and it's like any small company would probably have exactly the same. So I'll show you DXC and Accenture, who are huge organizations, but in terms of images and language, again, it applies to everyone.
Perfect.
So let me share my screen again. Okay, I'll start with DXC. Again, huge corporation, global corporation. This is their career page. And as you can see, I love it. They have a lot of diverse talent on their homepage as images. So join our team, and that conveys everybody's welcome. You can see there. And again, I don't know if they're employees or these are stock images. So big, small company, you can do something similar. And again, if you use your employees, it's more genuine, but if not, maybe use stock images. But you can see, so they've made it clear that regardless of background, ethnicity, race, etc. So yeah, everyone is welcome. So if you belong to any of these minority groups, you'll feel, okay, maybe I'm welcome here. This company might be really good for me. So it's really good, and it's right from the start. Don't just put it somewhere in the corner down there and think, oh, we're diverse and inclusive. lead with this because this way you will attract many more candidates. Yeah. And again, I would also encourage you to have a separate section specifically about your inclusive policies and how diverse you are as an organization, and give real examples again from your people. And you can't be diverse in everything, so just pick a couple of areas that you've excelled and in your specific company that it's important for you. So here in the example for DXC, they talk about women, and they talk about women in DXC. It's a big area for them. Also, they talk about disability as well, another area. So they've picked a couple, and that's good. So again, there's so many aspects of diversity and inclusion. It would be good if you cover many of them, but just pick one or two that genuinely represent what you care for, and showcase them. So again, doesn't have to be on the main page, but you can have a subsection or sub-page about it. Okay, that's for DXC. And again, Accenture. Career page, the header of the career page, it's changing, and they've got 4 or 5 different images of people from different background, and again, very inviting for different people from different background, different race, different ethnicity, and again, that feels welcoming to everyone. And then you move on again to the culture and the different jobs, etc. But it makes a difference, and just small thing like that. Imagery connects to your emotions, so you certainly feel much more open and invited when you see an image of someone that looks like you. So that's for imagery. Now, when it comes to the text on your website and your job specs, I would strongly advise to not just rely and say, well, we're all inclusive. There are tools that can help you with that. So there are different companies that do that. I've just picked one tool that would look at certain signs, that certain keywords that would make your jobs more inviting, and maybe gender neutral. So, for example, job posts with gender neutral words are 42%, invite 42% more candidates. Yeah. And also the second stat is about women, but women, for example, if your job specs have a lot of requirements, you're immediately excluding a lot of women, because women tend to want to tick every box of everything that you've listed there. And again, you could be biased to a certain group without realizing, so you need to be very careful in the words you use, and be careful with the bias. So again, this is one tool, but also, again, you have to pay for some tools like that, but you can use ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT to check the text that you've put together for the website, and make sure that, and give it instruction. Just make sure it's like, avoid biases, like, make it diverse and inclusive, and so it can invite specific groups of people that you want to attract. So there are tools you can use. Some are paid, some are free, but strongly recommend, again, for diversity and inclusion, once again, use imagery that conveys that you are diverse as an organization and that you're inclusive. The text also needs to be adjusted, so it could be more inviting. And again, you can use tools to do that. So I'll stop sharing now. So this was the third tip.
Yeah, that was great. And then there was a tools as well. So thank you very much for that. I think it's really helpful, and we can definitely use AI to help us. So definitely recommend it. And I feel like I need to set this question. But it's like, I don't know how to say that even, but it's like when you're selling there is a misconception, like you want to attract people that are fitted into EVP, and yet in the same time you want to show diversity and you want to be diverse, and there is a discussion about that. Well, I'm not sure if it's a proper question.
Yeah.
But we're selling the message. Yeah. So it's like the question is like, should it be targeted to specific group, but it should be diverse. Yes, you know what I mean. It's like,
It's a huge, absolutely. It's a huge topic, Barbara, and
right.
it's a very interesting
Next
topic.
episode.
Because, maybe we can do another 5, specifically that, because diversity is my passion as well. So no, that's a huge topic. But I'd say we need to be careful with culture, because sometimes if you show your culture in a certain way, if you want to attract people that are diverse, you need to show it as an open culture, and not to limit your EVP to be so specific that you're excluding some great talent that might never consider applying for the organization. And again, diversity always adds to the flavor of the company, and innovation in particular thrives when you have diverse people, because if you have people that look and sound the same, you're excluding your customer base, because again, your customers are diverse. You might not even realize it, but they are diverse, and some of them might have invisible disabilities and other things. And so there are lots of reasons why you want to hire diverse people. So it's a huge topic. I'd be happy to do another 5 on.
We booked in.
Considering the timing, we probably need to move on to the other ones.
Yes, please do. Let's go with the 4th one.
So we're on to number 4.
Yeah.
So when it comes to jobs, once you've done the EVP and the employer voice and the diversity and inclusion, then it's very good practice to have different paths for the different types of roles you have, instead of listing everything together. To, even if you might not have a lot of jobs, make it easy and user friendly for the candidates by saying, are you interested in a sales career, or marketing, or advisory, or management, or consulting, etc.? Because this way you're only showing them what's relevant to them. If you are in sales, you have a short sales span. So if you suddenly have to scroll through 20 jobs of consulting, you've lost me. So I'm going to somebody else's website. I'm not interested anymore. So you need to make it really easy for them to navigate. And for each of those different paths, you actually have different career paths and different, not just the jobs there, but what are you offering that particular personality, or different, because you'll have different personalities and different personas. So you need to market to them differently. You market to a salesperson different to how you're marketing to a consultant. And this is where your marketing team comes in the same way they market to different prospect groups and segments. The same way you need to segment your candidates based on the roles and the background that they have, and have different value propositions to them. So it sounds complex, but it's not. It's the same thing you're doing with the prospects. Normally, most corporates would probably do that in the same way with the candidates. So I would strongly recommend on the career page to have a section that has the different types of roles, and then you click on them, and that opens a different page where it talks to them specifically about the journey. It's like, you talk to them differently. It's not going to be the same message. And I'll just give you a couple of other examples. Okay, so entire screen. So I'll show you a company called Avanade. So again, on their career page, as you can see, which path is your passion? Again, they talk about passion. They use great words that connect with you emotionally. So what do you want to be? Technologist, advisory? Are you creative? Are you in corporate, sales, student? You see, again, they've used images that are very diverse. So that's really clever. In one place, they're ticking 2 things at the same time. So D&I and the different career paths. So if I click on the advisory, again, that opens this page. So someone who is interested in consulting and business analysts, etc. So again, they give real examples here of someone who is in that role. and talks a little bit uses the language that they really like. These typical people in particular, they're very analytical. They like to meet with customers. It's all about advising customers. So they're showing customer meetings. So they thrive in that. So business consultant, client needs, it's all about the customers and understanding the client needs, and key words in there so that are particularly important for that role. And then they have video cases and examples again from people who are in that role, that talks to them about why they enjoying their roles. And then they talk about advisory in the different industries. So if I'm an advisor in healthcare, I can click and find out more. Yeah, so that's just kind of one example. And then they only show here on that page the advisory jobs, nothing else, nothing in sales, nothing in like technical jobs, etc. And then, okay, maybe that's not the role I wanted. Maybe I want sales, and then you'll go in the sales one. But I just kind of wanted to show you how easy it is to navigate, and it's not difficult to put together. You don't have to have a huge budget for that. It's just having separate sections and speak differently about each of the roles and what you offer them for that particular career path, and then list the jobs there. So hope that makes sense. And yeah, Barbara, and again, for employee value proposition specialists, that's actually a goldmine, because you're not just talking about the company itself and one value proposition. You're talking about different segments of roles that you have different value propositions, and based on the type of personas they are.
Yeah.
And you can go even further, create personas for the typical salesperson you want to hire, a typical developer you want to hire, a typical marketer, and create EVP specifically for them.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a bit more complex.
Yeah, that's a perfect example, I think, is you want to target your messaging to the right persona. Yeah. So that's what I like with this page is architecture, because actually the URL and the address is the architecture. You can see looking at the address, so it can actually be like a landing page for the recruitment campaign. So people don't have to go and click and look for like, oh, I want to find something for me if I'm from sales or any other role, but actually you can just drive the traffic to this page, to this sub page. Yeah. So
it's a separate journey. You can have a separate campaign, as you're saying. Absolutely, you can specifically target that and put it in social media or specific places where salespeople would go to. So it's very targeted, and then you'll get the right candidates. You won't get the wrong candidates for the jobs you published.
Yeah, that's important, because as you said, people have no time, literally, like just viewing a lot of different stuff. Okay, great. So finally we've got
final one. The fifth one, last but not least, it's actually probably the most important one, is about the job specs. Actually, we finally got to the job specs on the career page. So the job specs, they need to be like a marketing message, like a love letter to the candidates. So it's not about your requirements and what you need from. Actually, the word requirements should be deleted from the job specs. You do not want to put requirements. You don't have requirements for your prospects. You should not have requirements from your candidates either. So it needs to be why you want to apply for this job. It's all about you. It's less about us, and how we can add value to you. And the job spec specifically needs to be very detailed based on that, the previous step. So you've already gotten to the salesperson or the consultant or the advisor, marketer, etc. And then this is the further step. So that's kind of you in the marketing funnel. When you start at the top, you're very much at the bottom where you want them to click apply. This is where you talk to them, what's in it for you specifically. And there's so many job specs out there that are so old-fashioned, and the old model is like, this is what your day would be like. This is a requirement. Must-haves also. I've seen so many must-haves. Don't ever do that. So requirements and must-haves must be deleted. So, and you can convey differently. You can use the words cleverly, and I'll show you in a minute a few tools you can use and how to make it. But it's really all about you. And I'll show you an example again from Avanade, from the last company we reviewed. And also I'll show you how you can use ChatGPT to create candidate-friendly, you can convert your current candidate-unfriendly job into make it candidate-friendly.
Please do it.
And it takes literally a minute to do that. So,
It can be for free.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't take long, and it could be for free. So I'm starting with the, let's say it's like Navanat. So let's say let's take a job. So here, let's hope that's a job. But normally you can see an Navanat. So you can see, come and join us. So they come on the top of the section. So it's very inviting. What you'll do instead of your job or your role, skills and experience, about you. So a great place to work. It's very inviting. It's brilliant. So it's, again, you didn't see any requirements there, did you? So it's very good. So and you want to make it easy for them and inviting. So this is your, as I said, a love letter. And what I did, because I don't have much time, I didn't want to go through the whole process because it might take longer. But what I did, use ChatGPT, and I used the paid version, but you can use it in the previous one. But all I said is make the job spec more candidate friendly and use inclusive language that is not biased. So this is my instruction, and I copied and pasted a job I found from a recruiter on their website. It doesn't say who the company is, but I copied and pasted a job that typical has duties and requirements. That's kind of, most jobs right now have duties and requirements, which is so uninviting. And then they wonder why no one is applying. So all I said to ChatGPT is make this job spec more candidate friendly and use inclusive language that is not biased. And it came up with a much better version. Join our team, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we pride ourselves with inclusivity and growth, etc. Now, ChatGPT has no idea who this company is. They're already making it sound better. But the reality is, if you're doing it for yourself or for your client, you would know who they are. So I said, this is not convincing enough. So you see, they move duties and requirements to flexible working models, your role and responsibility, who are we looking for, which is more inviting. But I wanted a bit more juice. So I had no idea who this was, but I thought, okay, looking at this, potential employer could be this company. So the second instruction, again, this took seconds, and said, add more about the culture and value proposition of this employer. So thinking of the employer, it might be, I'm just speculating. And ChatGPT created a much better job spec. So again, building on our commitment for innovation and excellence, blah, blah, blah. And it talks about culture and values, your role in our journey, why choose the company, etc. So this is so much better, isn't it? So I just wanted to show you ChatGPT is here. And again, you can refine and improve. But again, they're free. This is free. So you can, certainly leverage this and turn like a totally unfriendly job spec into something much more attractive using ChatGPT, and then add your own flavor to it and adjust it. So so that was the last tip I had, and hopefully you can put it into practice. So
thank you for listening. If you are interested in learning more from the most attractive employers and leading experts in the area, then be sure to check EBstarsAcademy.com and dive deeper into the world of employer branding with us. See you there.
So my five tips were: lead with the employee value proposition on your homepage, not with a list of jobs. Make sure you use the voice of your employees, give examples. The third one, demonstrate diversity and inclusion. Fourth one, demonstrate different roles for the different map for the different roles, and make job specs that are candidate friendly.
Yeah, perfect. That was a great lesson. and great examples and tools that you can use start today with no money. And thank you very much for showing the prompting a bit, how to instruct ChatGPT on that. Right. So we over time, but I was,
Sorry.
yeah, but I'm happy. You brought to us so many great case studies. So hope I'm really glad. And the last final words, like if you were to summarize, what do you think as a future of career web page? Is it going to change for, I don't know, next year or 2 or 5? I don't know if anybody in marketing is predicting 5 years ahead, but it's like, do you see, can we use AI? You already show us that you can, but what's future holds? Or maybe you have had any other summary that is better, so please do.
Yeah, so I would really hope that AI would help make, and it's such a paradox, but I really hope AI would make the career page more human and more friendly, because right now the career page is normally kind of on the back of the website and it's like at the bottom, and it's the most unfriendly and unhuman page of the whole website. And it's I really hope people would use it in such a way to make to show the culture of the company, to show like the best things about why people enjoy working there, and to use it in such a way to help attract the right talent and not waste the manager's time and reviewing a lot of inappropriate CVs. And so it attracts the right people.
Oh, great. So the prompt should be just humanize my website, like my kid.
Yes, exactly. Use AI to humanize your website, but clearly you need a lot of guidance. So
sure.
don't leave it just to AI. You need to cleverly use it and adjust. And
sure. And we need to remember that we somehow need to measure what we're producing is like, if it's better for us, bringing talents we want, right? So just not playing with it freely, but checking what we're doing.
Absolutely, having KPIs. But you will see by the number of applications you get, the quality of the applications, of the number of hires you make. So as soon as you make these changes, I mean, the websites are still very important in the hiring process. So people do check your website. It's one of the starting points. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. That's very true. Okay, so thank you. It was
thank you, Barbara. It's been a pleasure. Love talking to you and to your audience. And I hope the audience would have found at least one tip that they could apply and improve their journey.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, as I said, we see really, really not a lot of cases how to build career website. I don't know why, but this is the truth. Like when you're looking for case studies or like scenarios for how to build it, it's like, this is, so you should do a webinar maybe on that. Further.
Happy to do that
for good materials for our community. So an example. So it's like, thank you very much for that. It was my pleasure, and hopefully see you soon somewhere, maybe Employee Branding Stars Festival this year. And find Elena on LinkedIn, connect with her. If you have any questions, probably you will be, happy to talk.
Happy to talk to any of you. And thank you, Barbara, for inviting me. It's been lots of fun to talk to you and to share some experience.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Wonderful. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.